Welcome to Barbara's Bulletin, the podcast where we delve into the most pressing global issues, providing you with in-depth analysis and expert insights. I'm your host, Barbara, and I'm glad you're joining us today. In our opening segment, we're taking a closer look at the recent election in Romania, which has left many wondering about the country's future and its place within the European Union and NATO. The election saw a narrow victory for the incumbent president, but it also exposed deep-seated divisions within Romanian society. On one hand, the outcome of the election can be seen as a relief for those who support Romania's Western alignment and its commitment to democratic values. However, the fact that the far-right candidate, Simeon, came close to winning has raised concerns about the growing influence of nationalist and anti-European sentiments in the country. It's also worth noting that external factors played a significant role in the election, with allegations of Russian interference and meddling through social media and cyber attacks. The Kremlin's attempts to sway public opinion and undermine trust in democratic institutions are a worrying trend that we've seen in many countries across Europe. As we analyze the situation in Romania, it's essential to consider the complex historical context and the country's ongoing struggles with corruption, inequality, and xenophobia. The post-revolutionary elite's rejection of communism and embracing of neoliberal economic models has created a sense of disconnection between the government and ordinary citizens, leading to widespread distrust of institutions. The election results have shown that while 90% of Romanians support EU and NATO membership, many are skeptical about the benefits of these alliances and feel that the government is not delivering on its promises. This disconnect between the country's international commitments and domestic orientation is a pressing issue that needs to be addressed by Romanian leaders. As we move forward, it's crucial to recognize that Romania's future is not just a national concern, but also has significant implications for regional stability and global security. The country's strategic location on NATO's eastern flank makes it a critical player in containing Russian influence in the Black Sea region. We'll continue to monitor developments in Romania and provide you with updates and expert analysis. For now, it's clear that the country is at a crossroads, and its leaders must work to rebuild trust in institutions, address social and economic inequalities, and strengthen democratic foundations. We'll be right back with more of today's top news on Barbara's Bulletin. Welcome back to Barbara's Bulletin. As we continue to explore the latest developments from around the world, we're shifting our focus to the business sector, where some significant moves are underway. Today, we're looking at two major stories that could have a substantial impact on the global economy. First, let's dive into the news that Mitsui Osk Lines, Japan's second-largest shipping company, is assessing the impact of new EU sanctions on its liquefied natural gas vessels. The European Union has adopted a 17th package of sanctions against Russia over the war in Ukraine, which includes targeting Moscow's shadow fleet. Mitsui Osk Lines owned and managed North Moon, North Ocean, and North Light Line vessels have been included in this package. Now, you might be wondering what this means for the company and the global energy landscape. Well, according to a spokesperson for Mitsui Osk Lines, the company is committed to complying with all applicable laws, regulations, and international rules. They're carefully assessing the situation and will take necessary measures to ensure they remain in compliance. This development highlights the complexities of the ongoing conflict in Ukraine and its far-reaching consequences on global trade and energy supplies. As we continue to monitor this situation, it's essential to consider the potential ripple effects on the global economy and the companies involved. Moving on to our second story, Toyota is considering entering the compact pickup truck market in the United States. With demand for smaller trucks booming, Toyota is looking to join Ford and Hyundai in competing in this growing segment. The idea is to offer a more affordable option for drivers who want a pickup truck, but don't need a full-size vehicle. This move could be significant for the U.S. auto market, where full-size and mid-size pickups currently dominate. However, with rising prices and changing consumer preferences, there's an opportunity for Toyota to capitalize on this trend. As we watch this story unfold, it'll be interesting to see how Toyota's potential entry into this market affects the competition and consumer choices. Both of these stories demonstrate the intricate relationships between global events, trade, and business decisions. As we navigate these complex issues, it's crucial to stay informed and consider multiple perspectives. Here on Barbara's Bulletin, we're committed to providing you with balanced and in-depth coverage of the news that matters. Stay tuned for our final story of the day, right here on Barbara's Bulletin. Welcome back to Barbara's Bulletin. We're closing out today's show with a developing story that's making headlines around the world. A former Ukrainian politician, Andriy Portnov, has been shot dead outside a school in Madrid, Spain. According to reports, the attack occurred on Wednesday morning as Portnov was dropping off his children at the American school in the upscale neighborhood of Pozuelo de Alarcón. Now let's take a step back and provide some context. Andriy Portnov was a senior aide to Ukraine's former president, Viktor Yanukovych, who was ousted in 2014 after months of protests. Portnov had been involved in drafting legislation aimed at persecuting participants of the revolution, and he was later placed on several sanctions lists, including by the U.S. Treasury in 2021. The Spanish Ministry of Interior has confirmed that Portnov was shot multiple times by more than one assailant, who fled the scene on foot. The police are still investigating the motive behind the attack, and it's unclear at this time who was responsible. It's worth noting that this is not an isolated incident. There have been several attacks and assassinations linked to Ukrainian and Russian interests in recent years, including the fatal shooting of a Russian helicopter pilot who defected to Ukraine last year. As we await more information on this developing story, it's essential to remember that the situation in Ukraine and Russia is complex and multifaceted. We must be cautious not to jump to conclusions or assign blame without evidence. The investigation into Portnov's death is ongoing, and we will continue to monitor the situation and provide updates as more information becomes available. That's all for today's Barbara's Bulletin. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, stay engaged.